just say yes to opportunities. I almost didn't. And because we said yes to a simple thing of, yeah, we'll start talking to you about this weird album that you've discovered, then it led to this.
This is A Deeper Listen from listener-powered KEXP. It's a show where we talk with musicians about the thoughts and the experiences that shape their music. I'm Roddy Nikpour. Back in 2020, Owain Davies was just minding his own business, and then he received this message from a stranger on Facebook. And they asked, "Were you by chance the singer of a 90s band called Panchiko?"
Have I been caught again?
As it turns out, Owain was, in fact, the singer of this band, which he had formed in high school with his close friends. By 2001, they put out 2 EPs, just 7 songs total, burned some CDs, played some shows, but never really broke out of their scene in central England. So then life went on for Owain and his bandmates. Fast forward more than 20 years later, and now Panchiko is back in action with their second album since the band's revival. It's called Ginkgo, out on Nettwerk Music Group.
I found a place it hides between the facts and the sun, and I'm asked, wearing this mask, I'm not your man.
I got to speak with Owain and his bandmate Andy Wright about Panchiko's really unique moment of being discovered by a uniquely devoted fan base on the internet, and how that brought them to release Ginkgo, putting them on the road to play in front of thousands of people. You guys met in actually the late 90s, and you released 2 EPs in 2000 and 2001. One was called Death Metal, and one is called Kicking Cars. And I think total it was like 7 songs. And then I want you guys to pick it up from there. So you released these 2 EPs as teenagers. What happened to your life between then and now? In 2 minutes, go.
Go. Quick. It's a good question. I don't know what happened to my life. I mean, you're quite concise with all the history of Panchiko.
Yeah, well, if we're going from, we met at school, we eventually played like gigs in pubs and did covers, then we started writing our own songs. It was the late 90s, so it was like, how do we get a record deal? How do we get someone to pay us loads of money for doing what we want, or whatever it is? I don't know. So we sent out like the EPs were really demos, really, more than anything. So they were sent out as 2 CDs to like a couple of record companies to see what they thought.
She's forgotten her car keys and the flowers for her friends. They say she's a heart.
We didn't get a massive response. I mean, we only had one, I think, a record company get back to us, which was great, but we didn't go and play like in London or anything, so we couldn't really do the great sort of go play live and get A&R'd.
But we still we enjoyed the process of writing the songs. I think me and Owain just had a lovely old time just doing all that kind of side of it. And I think anything else is a bonus, really.
Listen to death metal.
That was back when you were teenagers, right? And that's a very like transitional time of someone's life, right? Like graduating high school and people going to college and, you know, whatever. Like, did life get in the way to make you guys stop playing, or was there some kind of blowout? Or
No. I think we all had a second plan, you know. We were sensible enough to at least try and do something else, go to college or university. And it's like what you said, yeah, it's kind of like, you got to get on with your life still, haven't you? Like, you got to do other things and see how it works out. So we moved to other cities, did courses, and then came back and did stuff. But yeah, and I guess if no one's, you know, like if no one's really getting you loads of gigs, or you're not getting yourself a load of gigs, then, you know, I don't know, you're not going to keep doing it for ages.
And the gigs that we were getting, pretty poorly attended, to say the least.
Yeah, and there'll be that dude with a mop and bucket just already cleaning up, you know, before we finished.
Going out of chronological order, but do you have other work right now to supplement Panchiko now, or has Panchiko picked up so much that you guys can actually just focus on doing music?
Yeah, we're focused on doing music now. We've been able to slowly phase out our previous jobs, but it was a bit of a challenge when it all resurged because we were doing both at the same time. So I've done a number of jobs in the last 20 years. I worked in shops, video game shops. I went to college to do design. I studied to become a teacher. I taught. So that was the thing I was doing at the last, whilst we were sort of going on our first American tours. I was still having to organize like cover for teaching and stuff like that. So, but it was fun. I was teaching video game design, so that was fun and interesting to do. But I think going around and playing musics seemed a lot more fun.
Andy, what about you?
My amazing backup plan, if Panchiko didn't work, was just more music. So that's what I was doing, just working in mixing and mastering in the music world. Got a toddler. She's 3 years old. She's on the front cover of Ginkgo.
I was going to ask who that was. Awesome.
That's her, looking a little bit more imposing than she normally does. But and they've got a little Poochie as well. But yeah, so he's a bit less trouble. But he's not going to go on an album cover, I don't think, unless he's not. Yeah, maybe we can't write it off. But it is tricky. I think if I didn't have the support of my wife, then I don't think it would go at all well, because we go away for quite a long time at a time as well. So it's good to be in a situation where everyone is wanting me to do this.
Yeah, like don't go over 4 weeks or something, you know, like that's for 5 weeks might be the maximum without a visit home.
Let's talk about the quote-unquote rediscovery is the word that's been used about your 2000 EP called Death Metal, with a bunch of greater than signs in between the letters.
I'm not sure it's a rediscovery though, Roddy. I'm pretty sure that it's just a discovery, really. We weren't discovered initially.
Fair linguistic distinction there. The massive discovery, you can call it that, on the internet. It was in like 2016 is what I was reading. Stereo Gum called it Lostwave is your genre. It's a thing, apparently.
Yeah, we didn't know about Lostwave.
Neither did I.
Until we became it. No.
But it was on like 4chan of all places. Like my colleague called it the armpit of the internet.
And maybe it's fitting that we came from it.
Can you tell me about, like, I keep wanting to find this like moment where like this thing happened, but maybe it's not quite so like eureka.
I think there was that moment when Owen was contacted by the folks who were trying to find us on Facebook, wasn't it?
Like, who was it? Just some fan or like some label? Like, who made contact?
Yeah. I think because my name's not that common in Nottinghamshire, because basically on the EPs, we never put our full names on it. And there was a very small group of people who made a Discord, part of the Lostwave community, like trying to find the album. And they only had our first names to go by. So my name was like the one that was a little bit more distinctive. So they'd been searching for a while. I remember when they discovered it, they had this like Google Doc of all these tick lists of people they spoke to and confirmed that they weren't the original members.
So I want to clarify real quick. Your name is spelled Owain, Owen.
Yeah. So it's Owain, really. It's quite unique, I think, for the area. So what they did is they just went to Facebook and contacted everybody in Nottinghamshire with my name and just sent a random message saying, were you the singer in this band?
Holy crap, dude.
So I woke up, looked at it and went, now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. And I immediately thought, whoa, like, because we never put that on the internet. That music was never put on the internet. Often I'd walk around my house and occasionally see the old CD and go, do you know what? I think I'm glad that's not on the internet. Can you imagine putting all your old demos on the internet like nowadays? Well, that's crazy. I just sort of almost didn't reply, but eventually I asked them why, and they told me that it'd been leaked on the internet. And I told Andy about it, and And then we went and sort of spoke to these people a little bit about re-releasing the stuff. And because it was this rock version of it, like the version that had been uploaded had really degraded. So they were looking for the original takes.
It's like going door to door on the internet to everyone named Owain. This is spelled like that. And like, hey.
Yeah, I think it was really. What are the chances of it? And I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad we did it.
There's still quite a few people who think it's a hoax. So, so plenty of folks just take it for granted that we made it up. We just waited like half a decade to release an EP. So it's just clever marketing. It's like, we're not clever.
Yeah, we're not that clever.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're clever at all.
Yeah, it's like the Matrix. You know, it's like, oh, you can't prove you're not in the Matrix. It's like, yeah, so therefore I don't think about it anytime. You know, like. Let's say it's true. And so it's 2020 and the pandemic obviously messed everyone's lives up. And in that, you guys actually put out your first album in 19 years, technically, called Failed at Maths, with an S in parentheses. And you put that out by yourselves, right? And Ginkgo, which came out this year, it's a label release on Nettwerk. I'm wondering if you guys can talk about the transition going from releasing music on your own to signing to a label, this thing that you guys had clearly wanted to do 20 years ago, and now here you are doing it. Was that an obvious decision for Ginkgo, or did you have to make any considerations? What was that process like for you guys?
Well, I think when we recorded Failed Maths, we still all had like normal jobs. So there's more of a rush in terms of the amount of time that we had to do it. And then for Ginkgo, signing to a label, I mean, they didn't have any like creative input at all. They've been really good and just stayed out of it and just wanted it when it was finished, really.
But it is interesting, like when we first put stuff on Bandcamp, because we thought that was probably the best place to first put it on. We didn't even like ask for money for it, and we had no intention of making like CDs or vinyl, but we just kept getting asked to do it. So we thought, well, let's start doing that,
And as soon as people don't want to hear it or don't want to get hold of a CD or vinyl, then we'll just go back to our normal lives, Roddy. To that.
I just think it's really interesting, like Discord even. This is a whole different story that we did actually a few years ago. Like Discord as a platform for a fan base to gather. And like it's your fan base made itself before you even really wrote music in the last 20 years. I think that's really interesting.
It was kind of great because you just walk in and all the work's done. There's loads of people who like to listen to our songs that we didn't know about. So I think it's just the most incredible sort of situation for any band to find themselves in. And we're ever so grateful.
It's a real honor to we spent a lot of time talking directly to our fan base, which obviously is quite a big thing for some people in music now. You're capable of doing it and it can really help.
You have a fan base. Like that sentence, you have a fan base, is different.
We were talking the other day when oh no, I suppose we didn't get given a gift where we signed someone's Thomas the Tank Engine figure or whatever. That was pretty cool.
Now let's talk about Ginkgo, because there's lots of storytelling on this album. I guess there's just a lot of things can be bad or unclear, but you should still realize you have autonomy is kind of a big theme that I picked up in Ginkgo. I guess, is it too generic for me to ask you about Ginkgo itself? It's a tree, and what significance that has, both as the album name, but there's a song called Ginkgo, which is kind of the big single from it.
First I saw it half in size and vanish out of view. Don't know how big it was, don't think that I want to. It makes you
What is the significance of that tree and how that, I don't know, defines the album?
He's an ancient. Whoa, that's big stuff. What? I think I didn't want to be too direct. So often I'll write a whole bunch of lyrics and then I'll hate them and just keep on rewriting everything until the essence. It's about limits of one might be able to control folk and the amount of control you have over your own life as well.
I picked that up on like subtitles, leaving things unspoken, and kind of like this unresolved tension, but more to what you were saying about like what you can actually control or not.
Left on the sill to cool in the sun. These things all never know. Placed at their door, these feelings towards you, I feel so unsure.
There's a song Sheldon Cooked that's basically about like putting your head in the sand instead of confronting some disaster. And then right after that, Lifestyle Trainers is kind of not the opposite of that, but some kind of like anthem for hope, right? Realizing you don't have to be alone in something really bad. Also, I have to call that one out because you literally use the word radio in it, and I think that's pretty cool.
Cool. You know, I don't know if like in the States you used to have like here back in the day, you used to have people who had their own little radio sets in their houses and they'd talk to people before the internet on them and stuff like. But yeah, that one I guess was like just more about like relationships and stuff, and it can be a bit tough and trying, but you know you can work it out together, and you can if you want to, and things can be good.
Yeah, I was thinking about also Honeycomb is a track that kind of has some of those themes maybe a little bit too.
It's hard to debate. You'd have to cross the universe to find something you're happy with, and you can't be so.
Musically, I really like it because it has that kind of shimmering bit crush sound. I also couldn't help notice in the song Florida, the very first song on the album, it has a sound that sounds like a disc skipping to start it.
Creases on the page I carry.
Am I making that up or was that on purpose? Owen, you're the sample guy, right?
I think it was just a granular thing I had like a little. We were on the road to Florida. We were in the van. And I was just playing around on my iPad. That was just like, yeah, it did definitely make that chopping CD kind of sort of sound. I quite liked it. So I was just like looking out the window. I think it was raining, and just enjoying making these sort of skippy, degraded samples. Really,
We didn't go crazy, but underneath all the clear stuff is loads of stuff that is just horrible and distorted and completely unintelligible. Like a little sort of bed of weirdness, and then on top is like a little pop album.
One song I really want to talk about too is Shandy in the Graveyard, because it features some verses from the rapper Billy Woods. That's like a really cool left turn all of a sudden in that song where his voice just comes in.
She left a necklace and never retrieved it. I left a message meandering gently amidst our secrets. The clasp is broken, but you know me, I tend to keep the pieces.
It's just a really awesome collaboration.
But yeah, he's a friend of a friend. So, do you think Billy Woods will want to do a little singy song? And weirdly, he agreed. So it was amazing, really. It's quite contentious. Some people were really like, oh, I don't like that. Just, it's nonsense, isn't it? But loads of people are really into the way that we sort of try and experiment a little bit, have a nice time when we're doing it.
Yeah, I really like it. I really enjoyed doing that one.
I teases, and the keys, I teases, and the keys.
The recording process is the least stressful part of being in a band. Is being on tour is, I find, the most trying aspect of it. That's when things can be a little bit difficult in the van, because it's only a little van.
Because Owen's in the back seat doing his little...
He's doing his pop songs, yeah. And I'm unfortunately hearing everything that everyone else is saying. So it's there's not enough noise cancelling in the world sometimes, is there? You know, when you're at home, you got this kind of a routine, and it's not always like super exciting, but you're there and you're just doing what you're doing. But touring's a little bit tricky because there's so many people to consider as well. Everyone's got different experiencing it differently as well in the band. So I think it's just, you got to be careful with the way where you are. You've got to tone it down a little bit, maybe sometimes. Because if you're just in a van being drunk and bonkers for 5 weeks, then that's just not a sustainable way to tour. So everyone, I think, is on pretty good behaviour for the most part. It's definitely fun, but it's so far removed from real life that it gets a little bit confusing sometimes. But it's fun.
Yeah. The way time all goes funny, doesn't it? It feels like you're there forever, and it feels like a blink of an eye before the end. So yeah, your sense of time gets totally turned on its head, doesn't it? And then, I mean, as long as you take your multivitamins, right, and you keep hydrated, like, you'll be all right, right? And just grab vegetables when you see them. Just eat raw vegetable, any kind of vegetable, eat it.
I don't like vegetables. But after about week 3, I love vegetables. I have a nervous wreck, and sometimes just quite a drunk nervous wreck for the first couple of shows until that's died down, and it's all fine again. But I think nobody seems to notice this. In my mind, it's going so terribly, but then I don't think it is actually really. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I think the thing is, when people started singing the lyrics back to us from very first gigs we did when we came back, that's just a really interesting feeling.
Given the fact we all listen to death metal.
Just seeing people really vibe with the music and well, the ones at the front anyway.
Yeah, there's normally some like angry dads at the back. I like the angry dads.
It's a real privilege to do it, and just like to thank people for supporting by playing those songs and playing them reasonably well.
That's awesome you guys are doing it. I mean, I think it takes a lot of, as you just described already, vegetables, but a lot of effort to really pull yourselves up to do a tour, especially across the world. I think the project of Panchiko is so cool because you guys didn't have to do this. Like you said, when you almost left it in the past and been like, okay, well, that was an album we did, we were kids, whatever.
Just say yes to opportunities. I almost didn't. And because we said yes to a simple thing of, yeah, we'll start talking to you about this weird album that you've discovered, then it led to this. So just don't turn things down because you can't be bothered or you think it wouldn't be worth your time. Try things out. You never know where it'll go,
We usually try to end these interviews by asking people, is there a particular artist or song right now that's inspiring you, either as a musician or just, as a music lover in the world?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been listening to an awful lot of Mitski, probably an unhealthy amount. It's just beautiful. Nobody's it's one of my, that was the first song I heard of Mitski, which was like, what's this? This is crazy. It's brilliant.
I just need someone to kiss. Give me one.
That and Radiohead, as always, pretty much constant for the last 30 years.
Owain, do you have any obvious influences or things you're really digging right now?
Always changes. I mean, I've been recently listening to a lot of Bjork, but the live album of Vespertine, and particularly the song It's in Our Hands, but the live version, because I much prefer the live version to the EP.
It's in our hands. It's in our hands. In our hands. It's our life. In our hands. It's our bed.
And I've been listening to a lot of Stereo Lab recently. And a band that I didn't really get into until a couple of years ago was Big Thief, and like the song Simulation Swarm, I just was like, that's just perfect. It's just like one of the best songs ever written.
You believe, I believe too. You are the river of light, who I love, that I sing to in the belly of the empty night. From the 31st floor of the simulation swarm, with a drone of fluorescence, flicker, fever, fill the form.
Loads of stuff that's always changing, because I really like classic solo piano music as well. I listen to that a lot, like Kelly Moran, and I really like her stuff. I think it's really, really good.
This is awesome. Thank you for making time to talk to me about Ginkgo and ahead of your tour. And I'm just excited to see you on one of these legs too.
Yeah, just let us know if you're there, and
We'll let you in the back door.
yeah, to bring the vegetables, and you'll be in.
All right.
But yeah, really appreciate it, because I always thought your station really does an amazing job, really, and I've always appreciated it long before Panchiko resurfaced. So yeah, it's a real honour to just speak to you for a bit. So thank you.
That was Owain Davies and Andy Wright of the band Panchiko. Their new album Ginkgo is out now, and they're already working on new music, believe it or not. This has been A Deeper Listen. Don't let us get lost in the obscurity of the internet. Please brag about this show. Leave us a review. Tell your friends all about A Deeper Listen. Thanks also to the thousands of people who donate to KEXP. Please become one of them and go to kexp.org/deeper. One-time gifts are great, but even better, a monthly donation to become an amplifier. Thanks to KEXP's Imaginary Morning Show producer Owen for turning me on to Panchiko. And thanks as always to William Myers for mastering. I'm Roddy Nikpour, thanking you for taking a deeper listen.